Hey y'all, Melissa from Welcome Home Group. Many times I get asked the question, how did I end up getting started with real estate investing? And then that question is usually followed up with someone making a comment, well, I can't do that. I don't know enough. I don't have the right credit score. I don't have money to put a lot of money into a house or put money down. It's just one reason after another. I always try to encourage them to take a second look at real estate. Real estate is very, very special. It's amazing. My real estate that I have purchased can continue to impact my family for many, many years, decades when I'm long gone. It could create generational wealth where my child and my future grandkids could have choices in life because of the real estate that I purchased today. It builds futures. It creates generational wealth. It is truly amazing. And most of all, it can impact other people's lives. We all have to deal with real estate in some shape or form. Whether it's a house you're living in, a condo or apartment, you may need a little office space for your business. You may need a full building for your business. Real estate will impact us in some shape or form, no matter what your walk in life is. So I always encourage people to take a second look at it. I remember when I decided to get into real estate, it was because of some hard times that I felt, and it wasn't really hard times. It just felt like hard times because I didn't like it. I worked for General Motors Corporation, and I ended up having to go back and work on the production line as a team leader after being a business planner. And when I did, I was working for a supervisor who in previous years had made it clear that she felt it was unfair. I had that position as a business planner and felt like it belonged to her. And lo and behold, I ended up having to work for her. And yes, every day I came in, she made sure it was punishment. Every day I came in, she would tell me to load tires. And that was really hard on my body. Don't get me wrong, we got a hoist to load them with, but even with that hoist, you're still, it will wear my shoulders out by the end of the day. So eventually, I just put some headphones in and I started educating myself on different things because I just made it up in my mind that I was going to invest in myself from now on. I was just going to create my own future on my terms. And so I come across Brandon Turner and David Green, and every day I started listening to them. At that time, we were in what they call suspension of Plan A, and that's where they could work us 12 hours a day, 6 days a week, and they were. So I would come in there every day knowing this group leader was going to stick me on the line, and she was going to make me get on that hoist, even though I wasn't supposed to. I knew she was going to do it. So for 10 hours, 12 hours a day, sometimes 16 hours, because I would sometimes work over on the other shift, and 6 days a week, I educated myself. And through David Green and Brandon Turner, I had learned about private money. I learned about hard money lending. I learned about how that process works. And then either David or Brandon had mentioned about how you would be surprised at how many people you know are able to be a private money lender. So I started talking about, and they say, tell everyone that you're an investor. At that time, I hadn't bought a house. Well, I guess I was an investor because I owned my home I lived in. But other than that, I didn't own a house, as far as an investment property, but I did what they said. And I just started telling everyone that I was a real estate investor, and started telling them that I was looking for a property and I'm always looking for a private lender. They would ask me, what was that? I would explain to them, and they're like, private lenders are just people like me and you? And I'm like, yes. And they're like, I don't have to go to school. I don't have to. No, here's how it worked. And, I brought a contract up on my phone because of Brandon and David's education, educating me on things. I knew to study out what contracts said, and to keep one handy so I would show it to people. Lo and behold, I did not know how many people I was working with that were working on that production line who had tons of money in their savings account, and was, once I educated them, they wanted to give some money. So I ended up getting some money for a house. And as of today, I run that house as an Airbnb, which even obtaining that house was difficult because it was during a time where everyone was just overpaying for houses. They were flying off the market as soon as they went on the market. I remember meeting my realtor for a house I had found that was in downtown Lansing. By the time I had got there, he had said that the house was already sold. Well, the owner had already accepted an offer. I was really discouraged, and so I had just decided to myself, I'm going to have a house by the end of the day. And I started from downtown Lansing, and I literally drove street by street by street, heading back towards my end of town. And Brandon and David Green had talked about how you identify houses off the market and see it as a house that could be an off-market house, and be able to approach the owner and end up landing that as a deal. And I was driving street by street, and I came across a house, and I thought to myself, this house looks like it wasn't abandoned, but you could tell that no one was living there. You could tell that it wasn't being taken care of at the level it should have been if someone was staying there. So I called my realtor and asked him if he knew anything about the house. He told me that an agent was actually on her way over there. They were about to list it. I told him to call that agent, make an offer, ask for that offer to be submitted to the owner before she put the sign in the yard. And the owner actually took my offer. No back and forth, took the offer, was just ready to sell. So that's how I ended up with my first investment property that I still own today and run as a successful Airbnb. So I encourage you to educate yourself, because your steps you are going to need to understand. You will need to understand financing. What kind of loans are best for you? Hard money loans. There's different type of hard money lenders. Are you going to be rehabbing? Would you need the bridge loan? Are you going to get a DSCR? What kind of loan are you going to get? Who could become your private money lender? You're going to need to understand that. You're going to also have to have, what I always say is, have a business plan in place. Don't just own real estate and say, I'm going to just be a landlord and go at that. Have a business plan. Make sure you understand what your exit strategy is. Even if that exit strategy is your plan to hold that house for the next 30, 40, 50 years, still have an exit strategy. Think about the worst case scenario if something was to happen. What is your exit strategy for that? I really encourage you to do some research, study things out. I know Brandon Turner and David Green still does a lot of educational pieces. They can teach you a lot about the financing, private money lender. You even need to understand about the purchase agreement. I hope this information was helpful. Hit me up, DM me if you want to know any more information. Until next time.